Hiya, welcome, thanks for clicking on the video. This one I'm demonstrating a few scripts that I've uploaded to a GitHub that I've started, where I'm going to collate a bunch of scripts and things that people can download and use wherever they like in their projects. So consider this like a Christmas gift if people want to use it. It is for Unity and FMOD. It is just a simple ambient zone. I'm just gonna quickly kind of run through what it is, what it does, a quick demo in this level. This project is like a game jam project I was involved in, and this system was a thing that I built for that. So let's have a look. So there are three scripts. One goes on the player, and that one just holds the event and just manages the event play. So that's the one. Event trigger. So it's just triggering an event of whatever event you like in it. The idea of this system was that you only have one event, and then it drives ambiances in FMOD via so if we look inside here, we have that master event, and I'm just using an action sheet because I don't need anything fancy timeline wise. And over here you can see we've got the parameters that are all set up over there, and we have a essentially fall off. So this is just a fade out at the edge of the box, but we're doing it through continuous modulator. So essentially you have 2D ambiances that fade out as you leave the area. Back over onto the Unity side, have a look at the actual ambience areas. These are made up of two objects. One's an inner bound. There's no parameters to be set on that. All the parameters that get set on the inner bound are controlled by the outer bound script. So on the outer bound script, we've got a few parameters. We've got separate fall off distances on each axis. So you can see there we can change the inner to basically be it's a percentage of distance from the outer edge of that axis, basically. So if you want to change the overall thing, you can do it through scale up there, or change it on here as well. The visual don't update for whatever reason. The callbacks that control that only update once you touch these parameters. And then this is just basically an enum that I've populated. If you were to download the script and use it, you can have it as whatever you want. The actual script, it is quite useful that this is exactly the same name as the parameter inside here. These are exactly the same. Okay, so there's like a crossfade zone there between the two different ambiances, which is one is like a hangar, and this one is the concourse. So one's got people in, one's not got people in. So here is a demonstration of those two things. So let's jump into the scripts, have a look what's going on. So event trigger, super simple. This holds the definition enum. So it can be used here. So you can see this definition gets used here as a string. Okay, so that's why it's important that the parameter name in FMOD and the name that you choose for your enum are the same, because it's just being passed straight in. You can change that if you want, obviously. And then yeah, that's handling that side of it. What else have we got? Okay, so what all of this logic here is doing is it is handling multiple zones overlapping, and it's keeping a history of those zones. And then if it finds two zones of the same type, i.e. conflicting zones, which may have two conflicting values, then we decide which zone should get the priority is the one with the highest volume, i.e. the closest we are to that inner zone where things are loudest. Okay, that's all this stuff is doing. The inner script. So this is all of the gizmo stuff, just drawing that red box. On this side of it, what we are doing is we are, when we enter the box, what we do is we disable the collider on the outer box. So that's just to make it a bit more efficient. So we're not processing the on trigger stay stuff when we don't need to. We set the priority to 1 because if we're in the inner zone, that's the highest priority. So we set that, and it's important that we set that before we get into this script where that priority will be compared. So we're making sure that the priority is exactly what it should be when we're going into there. And then on exit, same again, should be priority 1. Probably not, it's probably redundant, that call. It probably doesn't need to. This one just switches the outer box on again. And yeah, we are sending the value of the modulator to the event trigger here. Okay, and then on the outer box. Okay, so here's just all our public parameters, those ones that I demonstrated in the inspector, drawing the yellow box. Here we are, onValidate is a callback that allows you to run a bunch of logic that whenever a value changes in the inspector, this onValidate runs. So this is what's controlling the size of the inner box, this stuff here, and its position as well, making sure where the center is. On start, we are getting the real distance on each axis. That is used in the normalized distance calculation between the inner box and the outer box. On enter, yeah, all we're doing is just initializing some values. So when we enter the outer box, our priority should be 0, because 0 is the lowest priority, 1 is the highest priority, and the modulator should be taking a value of 1, because it goes from 0 is the loudest volume, i.e. closest, so 0 distance away is closest, and 1 distance away is as far away as possible. So this is the on-trigger stay stuff that gets turned off by the inner part of the logic. So, yeah, so what we're doing here is calculating our distance, really. So this closest point thing gets the closest point to the inner bounds, and then we just do a distance calculation between the two. It's not. We're just getting what the difference is really between the player's position and the closest point on the bounds. And then over here, we are doing, so this bit of logic is deciding what side of the box we're on. Are we in the x-axis fade out zone, the y-axis fade out zone, and the z-axis fade out zone? And that's relevant, obviously, because I allow people to set different values for those things. If you don't allow people to set different values for these things, then you don't need any of this logic. Priority is being set based on this normalized distance minus from 1, i.e. if we are as far away from like the full length of the distance away from the box, then the priority should be 0. And if we're really close, the priority should be 1. The reason why it gets set when you enter that inner bound is because it's not necessarily like this logic isn't guaranteed to run by the time the priority has been set to 1 by this logic here, because this logic gets turned off and you don't have like a guaranteed, you don't know when this is exactly going to be getting set, but a lot of the logic assumes that at some point something's going to be set to 1, so it gives some reliability to the behavior. Yeah, and then we pass in that normalized value, so we're just we're sending a 0 to 1 value to that, and that handles the fade out. And then this exit part over here, I'm just handling, if we leave this outer bound, then we no longer care, so we don't need to keep it in the history. And this down here is just our normalization method. And that is pretty much it. The 3 script files are here. I'm going to be uploading other things. I got like Reaper Lua stuff that I've done. So feel free to, I don't know, bookmark this and come by and snag some other stuff that I'm making. But yeah, that's it. I hope it's useful to you. I hope it, even if it's just to have a look at the code more closely, if there's any methods that you want to dig into, figure out, understand, feel free to ask questions. That's it from me today. Thanks for watching.